Here is your latest African news. Africa-wide, Ukraine's bid to recruit fighters from Africa sparks uproar. Nigeria, Senegal, and Algeria have criticized Ukraine's effort to enlist international fighters as it resists a Russian invasion. Analysts say those who have responded to the call need to reconsider. Russia's war on Ukraine is barely 2 weeks old, but Kyiv is already attracting potential foreign fighters from as far away as Kenya. President Volodymyr Zelensky, who last week called for like-minded people to come to his country's defense against Russia's invasion, has been seen to be capitalizing on Africa's challenging socio-economic conditions to lure African fighters to Ukraine. The president said the reward could potentially come from being granted Ukrainian citizenship or being provided some form of financial compensation for participating in the conflict on behalf of Ukrainian forces. However, African countries have come out strongly to condemn Ukraine's call for African fighters to join the International Legion against the Russian invasion. Nigeria issued a warning on Twitter to its citizens that it will not tolerate any recruitment of mercenaries to fight alongside Ukrainian forces against Russian troops, while Senegal also expressed its displeasure with Ukraine's government. Algeria, another client of Russian military hardware, also called on Ukraine to desist from trying to enlist fighters from its country. Tanzania wins recognition for the number of women in high places. As the world marked International Women's Day, Tanzania is now among countries with an appreciable number of women holding powerful positions. A new study has indicated, as of February 2022, there were 30 women serving as heads of state and/or government in 28 countries, with the most common college degree among current female world leaders being law. Tanzania saw in its first female president Samia Suluhu Hassan after the sudden demise of the late John Magufuli last year. A recent study by education research platform erudera.com indicated that there are 13 women presidents and 17 prime ministers. The research shows that the majority of current women world leaders have a degree in or a field related to politics. The highest degree that the majority of women leaders have is a master's degree, while less than a quarter hold doctorates. Other African countries that have a high number of women in high places include Namibia, Ethiopia, Gabon, Tunisia, and Uganda. Sudan. Protesters demand a return to civilian rule in fresh demonstration. Hundreds of protesters took to the streets of the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, denouncing the military coup of last October as security forces fired tear gas canisters toward them. The rally was the latest in a string of protests over the military power grab which removed the civilian-led transitional government. Since then, a political way out of the crisis has not been found. Negotiations under UN envoy have remained unsuccessful. The ruling generals vowed to hand power to an elected government, promising elections next year. But young protesters call for an immediate return of civilian rule. Despite a heavy security crackdown and an apparent lack of progress, demonstrators continue to rally in a country which had taken a winding path to democracy in April 2019 after a popular uprising forced the military to remove long-term leader Omar al-Bashir. Kenya launches toolkit to track financial flows in illegal wildlife trade. Kenya has launched a financial flows toolkit to help track, share information, and seize money involved in illegal wildlife trade. Illegal wildlife trade is the fourth largest organized crime after drugs, people, and counterfeit, costing $23 billion annually. Kenya's Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Najib, announced this at the Kenya Wildlife Service headquarters in Nairobi, where the launch took place. According to the Worldwide Fund, around 20,000 African elephants are killed by poachers each year, and rhino poaching has soared since 2007, with an average death rate of around 100 rhinos per month. Data from traffic confirms that at least 23.5 tons of pangolins and their parts were trafficked in 2021 alone. The toolkit will help law enforcement and financial institutions such as banks and mobile money service providers to detect and share information with other countries in an effort to address suspicious transactions relating to traffic in wildlife. It will focus mainly on the Africa to Asia route, including global financial centers, in particular the UAE, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Through public-private partnership and international cooperation, the toolkit is expected to establish a strong foundation of information sharing to fight crime. Namibia. 22 jumbo elephants auctioned to UAE. The Namibian government has just exported 22 elephants that were awarded to the highest bidder at an auction. The herd of pachyderms headed to the United Arab Emirates at the request of the buyer. The country has a population of 28,000 elephants spread over several protected areas such as Etosha National Park, located 400 kilometers north of the capital Windhoek and 125 kilometers south of the border with Angola. Faced with the increase in the elephant population and the growing human-wildlife conflict in this southern African country, the government has opted to sell 22 elephants that have just been exported to the United Arab Emirates. In the country, authorities are at a loss to find a balance between country in protecting valuable species such as elephants and rhinos while managing the danger they pose when they encroach on human habitation areas. For the past 3 years, the country has recorded at least 960 cases of crop destruction each year, 923 of which were caused by elephants, while 4 people have lost their lives due to their attacks. According to the government, the funds generated by these operations, $5.9 million Namibian dollars, about $500,000, will be used to invest in wildlife conservation and strengthening regulations. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, follow, share and like our video. It's the best way of supporting us. Great news! You can now buy our African children's book Maua and the Gardens of Plenty, a book that teaches children the power of great ideas. This book is the best way to start exposing your children to African stories told by Africans. Find the purchase link in the description below. You can directly support this new series by becoming our YouTube member, Patreon or donor. And remember, Africa is watching.